Welcome to the Alcohol Minimalist podcast. I'm your host, Molly Watts. If you want to change your drinking habits and create a peaceful relationship with alcohol, you're in the right place. This podcast explores the strategies I use to overcome a lifetime of family alcohol abuse, more than 30 years of anxiety and worry about my own drinking, and what felt like an unbreakable daily drinking habit. Becoming an alcohol minimalist means removing excess alcohol from your life so it doesn't remove you from life. It means being able to take alcohol or leave it without feeling deprived. It means to live peacefully, being able to enjoy a glass of wine without feeling guilty and without needing to finish the bottle. With science on our side, we'll shatter your past patterns and eliminate your excuses. Changing your relationship with alcohol is possible. I'm here to help you do it. Let's start now. Well, hello and welcome, or welcome back to the Alcohol Minimalist podcast. With me, your host, Molly Watts, coming to you from, we're going to go with an opportunistic Oregon right now. What do I mean by that? I mean that there have been these just moments and days, actually. If you follow me on any of the socials, you might have seen a post that I made earlier this week, just a bluebird, beautiful day here in Oregon. And so it's opportunistic because we take our opportunities when we can get them to get outside, because interspersed with those bluebird days are some really rainy days. And those are coming this week as well. Got to take the good and the bad, but opportunistic is what I am feeling as far as Oregon goes this week. How are you all doing? Welcome back. And, around here, my goal is to help people create a peaceful relationship with alcohol. And what that means is maybe a little bit different for everybody. That's okay. I talk a lot about the science. We talk about low risk limits. We understand that prioritizing alcohol-free days gives us a lot of benefits. And really, I want you to understand that my life hasn't always been this way. My life has not always been an alcohol minimalist life. And today we're going to talk about something that is pretty near and dear to my heart, because if you're listening to this on Monday, November 11th, it is my birthday today. And so this week's episode, we're going to talk about birthdays and celebrations and why our culture seems to equate that with alcohol. I want us to be aware of how much this influence is there as a part of our lives when we're growing up, and how we see things and how it informs our desire to drink alcohol, and where that comes from, and how it's an undercurrent, a story that lives on under the scenes. We're not really aware of it, but how much those unconscious stories really drive our desires. By bringing things up to the conscious level, by staying more mindful, is really how we create the things that we are actually looking for, that we're sometimes outsourcing to alcohol in terms of the feelings that we're wanting. Again, it's my birthday, so it's kind of a milestone birthday, and I am really looking forward to the day and taking a different approach to the birthday in a very conscious way. I think maybe my last milestone birthday, I wasn't quite where I am now. In fact, I know I wasn't where I am now with my relationship with alcohol. I don't even really remember what that day was. Oh, actually, I do remember. I won't go into that one. But anyways, we're going to talk about some of my birthday celebrations here in this episode, and really more how those celebrations are such a departure from where I am now, but also how they're probably pretty common and pretty indicative of how people use alcohol and how we want to decide to do it differently now. I will tell you that by focusing on the behavior map result cycle that I talk about, I'm going to create a birthday celebration this year that is mindful, meaningful, and filled with gratitude. And spoiler alert, I will not be relying on alcohol in any way to make it memorable. Okay, let's talk about a little dive down memory lane here. Let's first talk about going all the way back to my 21st birthday. who out there listening has done a 21 run. The 21st birthday here in the United States, it's kind of a rite of passage. It's the age where you can legally drink. And culturally, we've created this tradition where new 21-year-olds go out and drink. Sometimes that means as many drinks as they have years, right? So the goal is like 21 drinks for 21 years. I don't really remember that specifically being my goal. I just remember the idea was to pass out drunk, which I did. The night ended with me taking shots, kamikazes. I've never had one again in my lifetime. We literally picked the bar that we went to because it was known for really strong drinks, cheap drinks. They literally subsidized the alcohol, but didn't subsidize the mixers. And so it was known for having really strong drinks. And that was like the goal where people ended up on their 21st birthdays. I believe that I was singing into a coat rack at the end of the night. And that's one of the last things I kind of remember because I did pass out. I threw up, passed out, and really had one of the worst hangovers in my life the following day. And I think it's worth asking why we even have these kinds of traditions around alcohol in the first place, right? The truth is that alcohol has been a part of human celebrations for thousands of years. In ancient societies like Egypt and Greece, alcohol was a key part of both religious rituals and festivals. Drinking together was something that symbolized joy and unity and connection. And maybe because of that, even way back then, it started to become embedded in how people celebrate major events. Over the years, of course, we've kind of kept that association of joy and connection. And so much so that celebrating without alcohol might even seem kind of strange or incomplete. How many of you have had thoughts like that? Like you can't imagine not having a champagne toast at a wedding, or you can't imagine ringing in the new year without champagne. You can't imagine going to a football game and not having beers. Those are the way that things have become so that it's so much ingrained as a part of what we do. Our brains have learned to expect that alcohol equals fun, connection, and celebration. That's how we think. Our brains actually make that neural pathway connection. They think that it is the alcohol that is doing it and not our thoughts. On my 21st birthday, I went along with that cultural playbook. Definitely went into it with the attitude of getting drunk, getting really, like I said, that was the goal. Like I knew full well going in that I was going to drink excessively, overdrink. And here's what I can tell you. It doesn't make that memory any more fun. It certainly doesn't make it more meaningful. Now it kind of makes me just scratch my head and think, why? What was the point? Why? Just because I could drink, I should drink to excess? I should drink stuff to make myself get sick? What? That's like a really odd way of celebrating, right? That's like a different way of certainly not creating connection. I mean, yeah, I think that probably people laughed at me, not with me. So let's jump ahead a little bit from my 21st birthday, fast forward almost 20 years, and we're going to hit my 40th birthday. And by that time, I thought that, I'd outgrown those wild kind of binge drinking days. I certainly had developed a pattern of drinking every day. So it was different than when I had been in college. Back in college, I didn't drink during the week. I only drank on the weekends. Now, and by the time I was turning 40, I drank every day, and I just drank more on the weekends and at parties and vacations and events. And even though I didn't have that idea where I was going to go in and get drunk, right, on my 40th birthday, that wasn't the goal. I definitely still hadn't really changed my beliefs about alcohol and its role in terms of celebrating. I definitely still saw alcohol as a necessary part of a celebration. And even though my sister and my parents traveled to surprise me that year to come to my birthday, and we went out to this we actually reserved space at a local country western bar. And that wasn't something that we did very often, but I was looking to going there, dancing, like line dancing and having fun with my friends. And even though I was thrilled to do all of that, again, the night ended up with focusing more on drinking. Friends, were ordering me like some sort of special shot. I think it was called a birthday cake, if I remember. I really kind of don't remember. I just remember that it was a shot thing, which is another whole thing, like doing shots. Why do people do that on celebrations? It really, truly, like, people do shots because it's a way of, like, again, a group activity, like a group table will buy a round of shots and everybody does it together, and it spikes your blood alcohol content. Think about that just conceptually, like that is the point. By the end of the night, I really missed moments for true connection, conversations, dancing. And again, I woke up the next morning, not with the massive hangover that I had on my 21st birthday, but I definitely remember waking up not feeling well and definitely had some regrets with regards to how much I had drank. And those birthdays really are something that I want you to see as the backdrop for kind of me living the life where I was not deciding or thinking about alcohol in a mindful way. I was just following a script, following a backstory that I'd always had. And even though I thought that I was trying to create memories that mattered, I was really just blurring everything with alcohol. And it took me years to realize that the connection and the contentment and the joy that I was seeking, those feelings could not come from a glass. They had to come from within me. I had to create those feelings with my thoughts. Hey there, it's Molly taking a quick break to talk with you about Sunnyside. You all know that Sunnyside is my app of choice and my recommendation for a tool to help you create sustainable change around your drinking. One of the things that I love about Sunnyside is their commitment to improving the user experience, and that has been a constant since I started working with them nearly 3 years ago now. Since June this year, they have added the Android version of their iOS app, so now it's available for Apple users and all Android users. It's the same Sunnyside experience across all of those devices, and it's just another example of their commitment to improving the user experience. Another example would be the fact that now you can set it up for push notifications. So you can take all of the daily texts, the reminders, and put them into a push preference so that you determine how you want to receive the support from Sunnyside. I would love for you to check it out. Go to www.sunnyside.co/Molly to get started with a 15-day free trial today. So this year, as I celebrate this milestone birthday, I'm doing it mindfully. And I really owe a lot of that to the behavior map result cycle. And if you're new to the podcast, the behavior map result cycle is a tool that I talk about, that it's my take on kind of the self-coaching model on a cognitive behavioral therapy framework. And it's a tool that helps us map out how our thoughts drive our feelings, which fuel our actions, and ultimately create the results that we have in our lives, the results that we either want or the results that we have by default if we're not paying attention to those thoughts, feelings, and actions. Now, here's how I'm using it now for this birthday. Instead of thinking, it's my birthday, I deserve a drink, I'm focusing on what I actually want to feel. And the feelings I want are connection, gratitude, and joy. Now, in the past, obviously, I have used alcohol to try to shortcut those feelings and get there, and believed that alcohol would help me do that. In reality, it never did help. I mean, yeah, there's that initial euphoric feeling, but as I've talked about many times on the podcast, when we chase the buzz, we end up raising our blood alcohol content up over any type of therapeutic effect, and we are just asking for all of the negative outcomes and all of the consequences that come from over drinking, which is exactly what most of us experience when we set ourselves up for like a drinking, event at a celebration when we don't stay mindful. Here is how I will be focusing my thoughts. And I'm just going to give you some really specific examples of how I'm going to think today to create the feelings that I want so much as a part of my life and a part of how when I have these feelings, it helps me take the actions like not drinking, certainly, but also just the actions that I want to be as a person. It helps me be a better friend, a better coworker, a better partner, a better spouse, a better mother. I will be thinking thoughts like, I'm here with people who love me, and each moment is a chance to build a deeper relationship. With that thought, I'm setting myself up to feel connected by being present and engaging and really listening and being a part of conversations. And I don't need a drink, and a drink actually takes me away from allowing that to happen. To feel gratitude, I'm going to be thinking about how grateful for the journey I've been on, that I am, and for the strength that I've found. That thought brings me a sense of peace and satisfaction that I know I can never get from inside a glass or inside a bottle. It's from reflecting on my own growth as a person and looking at the opportunity to keep growing, keep evolving, keep becoming a better version of myself. I am so profoundly grateful for being able to become a better thinker, master my own thoughts, and understand how much agency I have in creating the life that I want. For joy and festivity, because I hear this a lot, like it's just not as fun if I don't drink. Well, I'm choosing to focus on thoughts like, today I get to celebrate the gift of life, and I will be making memories that last. I don't know about you, but I've been reminded recently and certainly over the course of my life, I have had friends and loved ones who have not gotten to experience the age that I'm at now. We lost them way too early. They were too young. And I don't want to waste a moment of today feeling regretful or sorrowful about getting older. I don't want to. I want to celebrate this gift of life and realize that every day that I get to be here is a day that I have an opportunity to feel how I want to feel so that I can take actions that really create the results that I want in my lifetime. And honestly, being able to write a story that is so different than the story that I used to have, the story that I used to have about alcohol, the stories that I had around alcohol and my mother and all of it, it means so very much to me. With this approach, I can look forward to a birthday celebration that is going to be centered on the people, the moments, the gratitude that I feel, and certainly not what's going on in my glass. This journey has taught me that alcohol does not create the feelings we often expect it to. Maybe it does initially, but it often comes with a big trade-off on the other side. It might lower our inhibitions or make us feel temporarily relaxed, but it does not create real connection, real contentment, or real joy. Those feelings come from within, and they're created by how we choose to think about our lives and the circumstances, the people, the events around us. They're outside of our control. We get to choose how we think about them. We often think we need alcohol to enhance a special moment, but the irony is that alcohol can actually dull it. When I look back at my 21st and my 40th birthdays, I can see that alcohol took me further away from what I truly wanted. It created, sure, a temporary buzz, but it also created distance from those authentic feelings that I was wanting to create. Now, by focusing on intentional thoughts and what I actually want to feel, I'm able to approach this birthday celebration very differently. I'm able to be present and to remember every single moment. And that to me is the most fulfilling way to celebrate. So this year, my plan's pretty simple. I'm focusing on each moment of the day, being fully present and letting gratitude guide me through it. I'll create connection by making eye contact, by listening, by sharing meaningful conversations. I'll cultivate contentment by reflecting on all the things that I'm very thankful for. And I'll generate festivity and joy by letting myself enjoy each moment without anything clouding it. The best part is that this way I will wake up tomorrow with all the good memories intact, feeling content, feeling proud, and looking forward to making this coming year my best year ever. Now, if you're listening and you've struggled with these kind of celebrations, maybe thinking that alcohol was necessary to make things feel more special, I really want to challenge you to reframe that. Think about what you're really trying to create, what you're really hoping to feel, and consider how your thoughts can do that for you, not a drink, and how you can become a better thinker and really set yourself up for taking actions that align with your long-term goals. I want to thank you all for being here with me today, for celebrating this birthday with me. Birthdays, anniversaries, life's big milestones are really precious opportunities to choose joy, connection, and gratitude. And we really don't need alcohol to help us get there. So here's my birthday wish. If you're working on your relationship with alcohol, I encourage you to try the behavior map result cycle for your next celebration. Take a few minutes to think about the feelings you want to truly experience. Choose thoughts that align with those feelings and let them guide you. I am so grateful for each and every one of you who listens to this podcast and for the amazing community, our Facebook group, the Alcohol Minimalists, and all of my clients, past and present. I really just want to say thank you. Here's to another year of mindful choices, meaningful moments, and taking every day and cherishing it. Until next time, my friends, take good care of yourselves and choose peace. Hey, thanks for listening to the Alcohol Minimalist podcast. Take something you learned from this week's episode and put it into action. Changing your drinking habits and creating a peaceful relationship with alcohol is 100% possible. You can stop worrying, stop feeling guilty about overdrinking, and become someone who desires alcohol less. I work with people in 3 ways. You can learn about them over at www.mollywatts.com/workwithme. Or better yet, reach out to me directly. It's molly@mollywatts.com. We'll jump on a call and discuss what's best for you. This podcast is really just the beginning of our conversation. Let's keep it going.